My name is Clara. I am 75 years old, and I am sitting in a velvet chair that feels far too large for me now. The window is open, letting in the scent of rain on dry pavement, a smell that always reminds me of him. Of Julian. In 1 hour, if the prognosis holds true, this heart of mine, this stubborn, silent, foolish heart, will finally stop beating. It's strange. People talk about their lives flashing before their eyes, a cinematic montage of triumphs and tragedies. But I don't see a montage. I see a single image, frozen in time like a photograph left in the sun too long. I see the back of a man's coat as he walked out a door. I see my own reflection in the hallway mirror, mouth closed, lips pressed together in a thin, pale line. My terrible mistake wasn't something I did. It was something I withheld. For 50 years, I held 3 words hostage in my throat. I let pride, fear, and a twisted sense of self-protection build a dam that held back an ocean. And now, the dam is breaking, but the ocean has nowhere to go. If you are listening to this, and there is someone, anyone, whose face comes to your mind when you hear the word love, please listen closely. If you want to learn from my scars so you don't have to bleed yourself, join this community by subscribing. It's a promise to your future self that you will not die with a heavy, silent heart. It started in a library. That sounds cliché, doesn't it? But life often happens in quiet places. I was 22, studying literature, convinced that love was something from the Victorian novels I devoured, restrained, dignified, unspoken. Julian was noise. Beautiful noise. He was an architecture student with ink stains on his fingers and a laugh that made the librarian shush him from 3 aisles away. We collided near the poetry section. Literally. My books fell. He picked them up. He looked at the title of the one on top, Keats, and smiled. It wasn't a polite smile. It was a smile that said, I see you. We spent the next 3 years inseparable. We walked through the city at 2 a.m., eating cheap pizza and debating the existence of fate. He would sketch on napkins, on receipts, on my hand. He drew bridges. I want to connect things, he'd say. I want to build ways for people to reach each other. I loved him so much it terrified me. It felt like standing on the edge of a cliff without a railing. My mother had taught me that vulnerability was a weakness. Keep your cards close, Clara, she'd say, smoothing her skirt. If you give a man your heart on a platter, he'll just as soon eat it as hold it. So I built walls. When Julian would look at me with those intense, searching eyes and whisper, I love you, Clara, I would smile and say, you're sweet. Or I know. Or the worst one, don't be dramatic. I thought I was being strong. I thought I was maintaining the upper hand. I thought if I didn't say it back, I couldn't be destroyed if he left. I remember the specific memory, the turning point, with a clarity that cuts. It was a Tuesday in November. It was raining, that same smell of wet pavement. Julian had been offered a job in London. A huge opportunity. He came to my apartment, soaking wet, his hair plastered to his forehead. He was vibrating with energy, with hope. Come with me, he said. He grabbed my hands. His were cold, but his grip was warm. Clara, come with me. We'll live in a tiny flat. I'll design bridges, you'll write. We'll figure it out. Just tell me you want this. Tell me you love me enough to jump. I looked at him. I looked at the water dripping from his coat onto my rug. My heart was screaming yes. Yes, I love you. I will go anywhere. But the fear rose up, that cold, familiar tide. What if we failed? What if he fell out of love with me in London? What if I lost myself? So I pulled my hands away. I crossed my arms. I said, London is impractical, Julian. My life is here. You're being impulsive. He stared at me for a long time. The light in his eyes didn't go out all at once. It dimmed, flicker by flicker. Impulsive? He asked quietly. Or are you just afraid to feel something real? I feel plenty, I lied. Then say it, he challenged. Say, I love you, Julian. Don't go. Say it, and I'll stay. I'll turn down the job right now. Just say it. The silence stretched between us. It was heavy, physical. I could hear the clock ticking on the wall. Tick, tick, tick. Each second was a chance. Each second was a door open. I stood there, frozen in my pride. I convinced myself that if he really loved me, he wouldn't make me say it. He would just stay. He waited. He waited for what felt like a lifetime. And then, he nodded. A small, sad nod. "Okay, Clara," he whispered. "Okay." He turned and walked out the door. I didn't chase him. I told myself he'd call from the airport. He didn't. I told myself he'd write. He didn't. If this story feels heavy in your chest, please share it. Send it to the stubborn friend, the proud partner, the silent lover. You might save someone who is making the same mistake right now, someone who thinks silence is a shield when it is actually a sword. The gradual loss was a slow winter that lasted 50 years. I married, eventually. A kind man. Reliable. Robert. He was an accountant. He never asked for grand declarations. We had a comfortable life. We went on vacations, we paid bills, we hosted dinner parties. But every time I said, "I love you" to Robert, it felt like paying a toll. It was a transaction. It wasn't the wild, terrifying thing I had felt for Julian. I followed Julian's career from a distance. I saw his name in architectural digests. He built magnificent bridges. He built the Bridge of Sighs in a park in Kyoto. I saw a photo of him at the opening. He looked older, distinguished, but his smile, it didn't reach his eyes. Or maybe I just imagined that. Maybe he was perfectly happy. That was the torture, not knowing. The realization of the cost hit me 5 years ago. I was cleaning out old boxes in the attic after Robert passed away. I found a postcard tucked inside a book I hadn't opened in decades. It was from London, dated a month after he left. It had no return address. Just a drawing of a bridge that was broken in the middle, the two sides reaching for each other but not touching. And on the back, in his scrawling handwriting, "The only thing harder than building a bridge is knowing the ground on the other side was waiting for you." I collapsed on the dusty attic floor. I wept. Not polite, Victorian weeping. I howled. I realized that my silence hadn't protected me. It had hollowed me out. I had protected a fortress that was empty. I had lived a safe life, a predictable life, and I had starved my soul to do it. The unlived life with Julian wasn't a fantasy. It was a reality I had murdered with my own tongue. And now, the doctor tells me my heart is failing. Congestive heart failure. A poetic diagnosis, really. My heart is congested with all the words I never spoke. If I had only 1 hour left. And I do. This is it. The sun is setting, painting the room in shades of violet and gray. I am not going to call my children. I have already told them everything they need to know. I am not going to pray. I think God understands my silence better than anyone. I have tracked down a number. It took me weeks, hiring a private investigator, a foolish expense for a dying woman, but necessary. Julian is in a nursing home in Zurich. He is alive. I am picking up the phone. My hand is shaking more than usual. I will dial the number. It will ring. Once. Twice. A nurse might answer. Or maybe, just maybe, he will. His voice will be older, raspy like dry leaves, but I will know it. And I will not ask him how he is. I will not talk about the weather or the past 50 years or the bridges he built. I will say, "Julian, it's Clara. And I am calling to say what I should have said in the rain on a Tuesday in November. I love you. I loved you when you knocked my books over. I loved you when you drew on my hand. I loved you when you walked out the door. And I have loved you every single silent day since. I was afraid. I was a coward. But I am not afraid anymore. I just needed you to know before the dark comes that you were loved. Wildly. Completely. and then I will listen. Even if he hangs up, even if he doesn't remember me, even if he screams, I will have released the bird from the cage. The dam will break. I will spend my final minutes not as the safe, sensible Clara, but as the girl who was willing to be destroyed by love, even if it took her 50 years to admit it. My friend, you who are listening, look at the person next to you, or pick up your phone. Is there a name you scroll past because it hurts? Is there a sentence you swallow because it feels too big? Spit it out. Let it break you open. Being broken is better than being empty. Do not let pride be the author of your life story. It writes a very boring, very lonely ending. Now, I ask you, if you had only 1 hour left, who would you call? What 3 words are stuck in your throat? Tell me in the comments. Let's make this comment section a library of truth, a testament to the love we will no longer withhold. Write the name. Write the feeling. And then, for God's sake, tell them. The sky is almost dark now. The phone is in my hand. It's heavy, but it's lighter than the silence. Goodbye. And please, speak.